Okay, now I'm starting. Good morning. Now I declare the meeting open. First of all, I would like to welcome all 6 commissioners, as well as representatives of international organizations, public, media, and journalists who are watching the broadcasting of this session. Well, I would like to recall that the draft agenda, which includes the approval of the rules of competition and the announcement of the competition, was published on the Cabinet of Ministers website. No additional items were proposed by the Commissioner by now. Now, I would like to invite commissioners to adopt a draft agenda, and so I will call on them individually to vote. First, Andriy Yerasov.
Так, затверджую.
Yes, for adoption.
Okay. Dmitro Olinik.
Так, підтримую.
Yes, I support it.
Oleg Timikeev.
Підтримую, так.
Yes, I support.
Arnas Adomenas.
Yes, I'm in favor.
David Bernstein.
Yes, I'm in favor of the agenda.
Thank you. I'm also in favor. Therefore, now the agenda is adopted. So now I'm moving on to the agenda item of the adoption of the rules of competition. I would like to recall that at a previous meeting on the 31st of October, the draft rules of competitions were introduced for public consultation. And we have received several comments, and the Commission subsequently reviewed the draft, taking into account the comments received and made necessary adjustment. Now, I'd like to invite the Secretary of the Commission, Mr. Oleg Timikeev, to present the final draft for adoption, including a summary of the comments received and the Commission's responses. Oleg, you have the floor.
Доброго ранку.
Good
Шановні
morning,
колеги.
dear colleagues, and everyone who is watching our broadcast live now. Thank you, Mr. Chair. As Mr. Chair has already mentioned, the draft of the procedure and criteria were published at the website after our meeting on the 31st of October. We have received suggestions and we have taken them into consideration and accepted them partially or fully, depending on how we consider it is appropriate. I would like to express my gratitude to the NACP and civil society organization in the Center of Democratic Changes Maja for their provided comments and suggestions. And these suggestions have been published at the page of the Commission at the website of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine. And now I will tell you about them in more detail. Suggestions from the NACP. Section 5 of the draft, testing for general skills, and Section 6, testing for the knowledge of the legislation, do not contain the procedure of challenging of scores of responses. We have taken this comment into consideration and we have provided the possibility to submit an appeal within 3 days. Section 7 of the draft procedure regarding practical tasks to assess professional skills, and Section 8, practical tasks to assess organizational and leadership qualities, do not contain criteria and procedure of selection of independent external experts who will prepare and can check these practical tasks. We have partially taken this comment into account and we have provided the clarification that experts have to specialize in legal and or customs affairs and organization and or leadership matters respectively. Then, the draft procedure also does not contain criteria and methodology for scoring of practical tasks. We have taken this into account partially. We have added principles according to which responses to practical tasks will be assessed based on effectiveness, transparency, and forecastability. Additionally, it is pointed out that responses to practical tasks for organizational leadership colleagues will be used as one of the sources of information during the final interview. That is, it will not be scored in terms of points. Then, absence of the procedure of coding of responses and immediate publishing of responses makes authors of responses known even before they are scored by external experts or commission members. We have accepted this comment and we have introduced the procedure for coding of responses, but still there is a requirement to publish coded responses of candidates immediately after completion of the practical tasks. It will allow to find a balance between transparency and objectivity during scoring. And then, the draft procedure does not contain the obligation to publish the correct answer by the developer of the task and the possibility to challenge the score obtained as a result of comparing it with the correct answer. We have not accepted this comment because, unfortunately, contrary to testing, where it is necessary to choose one answer from several suggested answers, the practical task may not have one absolutely right answer. That is why publication of any answer as the right one will not comply with the methodology for the conduct of such testing. Then, at the same time, the draft procedure does not regulate consequences of terminating candidates' participation in the practical task stage. We have taken this comment into account, and we specify that to report present results of termination of the candidate's participation in the stage is considered at the meeting of the Commission. There is also no definition of technical malfunction, and the terms for the documentation are not regulated. We have added the definition of technical malfunctions. Then, one should pay attention to further sections of the procedure which contain broad discretion of Commission members and absence of the duty to provide justified voting during final scoring of all the candidates. We have not taken that into account because, in our opinion, Section 12 contains explanations as to how the Commission will take a decision about the determination of the winner based on the criteria stipulated in Sections 10 and 11. Then, we recommend to foresee in the draft procedure the list of grounds and transparent mechanisms for appointment of additional testing and tasks, since the Selection Commission has this right according to Part 4 of Article 9 of Article 470, Part 2 of the Customs Code. We have not taken this into account in adjustment of the text because the Commission determines additional testing and tasks by means of developing and adopting the procedure for the conduct of the competition. Additional stages may be introduced only through changes to the procedure. It is necessary to ensure forecastability of the procedure and, if possible, avoid significant changes after announcement of the competition. In turn, the suggested procedure allows to comprehensively assess candidates. That is why the Commission does not plan to introduce any additional stages of the competition after adoption of the procedure and announcement of the competition. And then we have some comments from civil society organizations, Maja. It is appropriate to determine a limited a circle of grounds that can be used to postpone the date and time of the respective stage of the competition, taking into account only reasoned grounds, like security situation, objective inability to conduct the stage because of problems of external problems, providing logistical or technical support, and failure to complete the previous stage. This similar addition may facilitate legal certainty of the entire competitive procedure, both for the candidates and Commission members. We have not accepted this comment because all Commission members have unanimously supported the approximate schedule for the conduct of the competition that is published at the website of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine. In our opinion, that is ambitious but realistic plan that allows to conduct the competitive procedure with high quality, including stages of the Commission and external partners. So the Commission does not foresee any possibility to postpone any stage of the competition without sufficient grounds. then consideration of documents by the Commission creates a situation when adoption of the decision based on this information is necessary, but the content of information with restricted access cannot be disclosed. That creates a risk of impact on objectivity of the transparency of the procedures. In order to avoid this risk, we suggest to establish in clause 10.16 of the procedure to foresee requirements to a written decision that shall contain written justification and specification of specific criteria of integrity that the candidate fails to comply with. We have partially taken this comment into account, and the draft procedure has been complemented with provisions according to which a written decision of the Commission will include clear, specific justification of the conclusion that the candidate does not meet the integrity criteria described in clauses 10.2 to 10.12. These are called comments. So colleagues, please express your comments, suggestions, remarks, and if there are none, please support this draft procedure that has been updated. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Oleg, for your detailed explanation. Now, any request of the floors?
Я хочу подякувати громадській
I would
залі.
like to express my gratitude to the public and to everyone who has provided their comments, because they are really appropriate, they have been partially taken into consideration, and I believe that at this stage, this draft procedure is already ready for adoption in view of the position of the society, the public, and everyone who has provided their comments.
I'd also like to thank everybody for taking the time and considering the draft that we posted. I think the comments have helped us think through a number of issues about the rules of competition and allowed us to improve both the transparency of the rules and helped us to think through the process that we as commissioners will need to go through as we evaluate the various different candidates. But I also think the rules are ready for adoption at this point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So it seems that we exhausted the comments, and now I would like to express my thanks to commissioners for their contributions. And I would like to proceed to a vote calling on each commissioner individually. Andriy Yerashov.
Підтримую.
Yes, I support it.
Dmitro Olinik.
Підтримую оновлений.
Yes, I support the updated procedure.
Oleg Timikhev.
Підтримую.
Yes, I support it.
Arunas Adomenas.
I'm in favor of adoption of the rules of competition.
David Bernstein.
I'm also in favor of adopting the rules of competition.
I'm also in favor. So all 6 commissioners confirmed their support for the rules of competition. Now, I declare that the Commission has approved the rules of competition, and I'd like to close discussion under this agenda item. Well, now I would like to proceed to next agenda item 4, adoption of the announcement of the competition. I'd like to note that with the approval of rules of competition, the Commission is now ready to formally launch the selection process. And therefore, this public announcement is of importance. And I'd like to invite the Secretary to present the draft announcement of the competition. Oleg, you have the floor.
Дякую, пане голово.
Thank you,
Ще раз
Mr. Chair.
вітаю, шановні колеги.
Again, hello, dear colleagues and all the viewers who are watching us online. I will briefly introduce the draft announcement that, after discussion and adoption at our meeting, will be published at the official website of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine, and that will be the official launch of the competitive procedure. And now I would like to mention some key points. And I would like to draw attention to these key points. So the competition is conducted according to Part 2 of Article 570 of the Customs Code of Ukraine, as well as rules of the competition conduct, which we have just adopted. The announcement specifies requirements to the head of the State Customs Service of Ukraine, the list of documents submitted by a person wishing to participate in the competition, the form of document submission, and deadlines for document submission. And now let's discuss some of these moments in more detail. Requirements to the candidates. The announcement envisions that a candidate shall have higher legal or economic education. The total employment experience shall be at least 10 years. And experience of working at managerial positions in public authorities, enterprises, institutions, organizations, regardless of the form of ownership, shall be at least 5 years. The candidate shall be fluent in the national language, shall be competent and have integrity, and shall be able to fulfill respective duties in terms of moral, professional, and physical qualities. Please get acquainted with the detailed list of documents at the website of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine. But now I would like to emphasize one point, and that is the need to submit the copy of the certificate on the state language fluency or the expert from the register of such certificates, which confirms the fluency in the state language as determined by the National Commission. And I would like to emphasize that this document can be submitted at the same time as the rest of the documents or later, but until the date of the start of interviews with the candidates. And with respect to the form of submission of documents, the full package of documents can be submitted by email at the email address of the Commission specified in the announcement or in paper form to the mailbox of the Secretariat of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine, again, at the address specified in the announcement. There are no limitations regarding the form of submission, but I can add from myself that in view of the security situation and remote mode of the Commission's work, submission of documents by email will be a bit more convenient for Commission members and our assistants. But again, there is no limitation regarding that. And with respect to the deadline for submission of documents, the draft announcement envisions the term since the date of publication of this announcement at the website of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine and until December 10 of 2025 inclusive. And now I'm offering my colleagues to express their opinions and comments, and I encourage all the interested persons to look through the entire text of the announcement at the website of the Cabinet of Ministers that will be published after our meeting. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you for your detailed explanation. Colleagues, well, you have the floor if you wish. Yes, please.
I think we should use this opportunity to address anyone who are watching us, to invite if you or yourself or you know anyone who would be willing to apply for this position. Apparently, it is a challenging time in Ukraine, but I believe there are quite a lot of patriotic citizens in Ukraine who would be willing to take this challenge. So just use this opportunity to invite whoever would be willing to take up this challenge to apply for this position. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Dmitro.
Дмитро,
You have to unmute.
мікрофон.
Да, дякую, пане
Yes,
Коле.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Of course, we count that after publication of the announcement and the start for the submission of documents by potential candidates for the position of the customs service, these candidates will become not potential but real, and that we as the Commission will have a chance to choose the best for adoption. And I appeal to colleagues and to everyone watching us today. I'd like to say that we should all disseminate this announcement as widely as possible in order to have high quality candidates, because Ukraine needs the reform of the state customs service. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to second that point that Dmytro just made. While it'll be more difficult for us as commissioners, the more applications we get, the better chance that we will be able to select a candidate of the highest quality. As Oleg noted, there are a lot of requirements for this position, and I encourage the NGOs and the business community to review the list of requirements and to help us generate as large a pool of candidates as possible. It may make it a little more difficult for the 6 of us, but it's very important for Ukraine that we select a high quality person, and that will come from having a large pool of candidates to choose from. So I look forward to working with the rest of the commissioners to try to generate this interest and have the competition be as broad as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Я також хотів би закликати
I would
громадськість.
also like to encourage the society, the civil society, the business community, the NGOs to disseminate this information as widely as possible so that we would get a large number of candidates for our competition. And of course, it will be sort of a workload, because the more candidates we have, the higher workload we will have as a commission, but we are ready for that, because we understand the importance of this reform, importance of selection of a new head, and we hope that we will have the maximum number of candidates, and that these candidates will be found who will apply to our competition. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for your encouraging remarks. Now, I think it is now time to invite the Commission to adopt the public announcement. And again, I will call on each commissioner individually to vote. Andriy Yerashov,
Так, звісно, підтримую.
Yes, of course, I support it.
Dmytro Oleinik,
Підтримую.
Yes, I support it.
Oleg Timikev,
Підтримую.
Yes, I support it.
Arnas Admenas,
I'm in favor.
David Bernstein.
Yes, I support the announcement.
I also support this announcement. So upon confirmation of all 6 commissioners, now I declare that the announcement of the competition has been approved. And I further declare that the competition is now formally launched. And I would like to extend my best wishes to all prospective candidates. Now, I would like to ask if any commissioners would like to raise an issue under any other business to take the floor. Okay, it seems no request for the floor. So then now I conclude this agenda item. And before concluding, I would like to announce that the next meeting of the Commission will be held in December to oversee the admission of candidates in accordance with the rules of competition. Details will be published on the Cabinet of Ministers website. And I note that the Commission has completed all items on today's agenda. And on behalf of all commissioners, I would like to express appreciation to representatives of international organizations, public, media, and journalists who followed this session. as well as to the working group members and interpreters for their valuable support. Now the meeting comes to an end, and I declare the meeting adjourned.
До побачення, гарного дня.
Goodbye. Have a good day.
Дякую, до побачення.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, colleagues. Have a good